If you are a Nick Saban or you are a Riley, Dan Lanning, there's no way your kids give you 29 points and you cannot coach your way out of 2 quarters.
Bandwagon Buffs, man. Hell of a game. 2 went for 500. BWB.
Bandwagon Buffs.
That's right. Buff Nation, what up? BWB, my bandwagon Buffs. What it is, what it does, and what it's gonna be. It's your man's Harry Billion. Family, do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up and don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can get the videos as soon as I upload it to YouTube. Family, I gotta go ahead and get into this video real quick, so that's all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. Deion Sanders and his Colorado Buffaloes have been the talk of college football the entire 2023 season. Even though a lot of people had very high expectations after they lost a few games, even to the ranked teams, people started to count them out. Oh, they're done. People are starting to write them off. Coming off a bye week, the Colorado Buffaloes are sitting right up there with some really good teams. There are some narratives that I want to draw from the Pac-12 standings. Let's go ahead and go to SI.com so that we can get the Pac-12 power rankings, and I'll tell you some narratives that we can take away as Buff fans. Let's go. Deion Sanders and Colorado fall to 9th in the Pac-12 power rankings. The Buffs are headed to UCLA in search of an upset victory. This article was written by Brian Shabel. What a difference a week makes. Colorado entered their game against Stanford thinking they were a shoe-in for a bowl. Now they're staring down 5 straight games where they'll likely be underdogs. It's definitely a big challenge ahead for the Buffs in a league stacked from top to bottom. Pac-12 power rankings. As you watch Coach Prime right here on the side trying to motivate the team from a well-off media video, let's go over the rankings. Number 1 is Washington. They're 7-0. Michelle Powell's 89-yard pick-6 interception return keeps the Huskies at the top of the standings. The Pac-12, who just weeks ago looked like the strongest conference in the country, may now be down to just one possible playoff contender, and that team barely beat Arizona State. A lot of people don't really read between the lines. If you really look at the Colorado games, the only team that beat us hands down where we had no answer for them was the Oregon Ducks. That was the only team that beat us like straight up, hands down. USC came very close, but then in that infamous 4th quarter, we came fighting back and we put up a really good fight and we only lost by 7 points. If you look at the Washington win over Arizona State, in the first half of the Washington game, Arizona State gave them a problem. If that whole field goal situation did not turn into a pick-6, more than likely Washington loses to Arizona State. So what does that tell you? Number 1, the Pac-12 is a really good conference. Even though they're going belly up, regardless of whatever happened years ago, the Pac-12 is definitely one of the best conferences in college football. If a few things go our way, maybe a first down here and there, maybe a few different coaching decisions, we are in the talks. I believe it was 2 games back-to-back where we have 5 minutes on the clock, and for some odd reason, we did not know how to manage the clock when it came down to the wire in those last 5 minutes. We could not make a first down. Where I thought we should have in the 4th quarter, or maybe the entire second half, in the 3rd and the 4th quarter, we should just be run heavy and trying to control the game on the grounds. We didn't do that. I don't know if we got spooked or if we panicked and something happened, but we did not manage the game properly and it cost us. So I'm saying if a few things go a little differently like it did for Washington, the narrative cannot just work for other teams. It has to work for us too. Something just went just a little differently for them to get a pick-6 and run it back the other way. Just a few things going differently for us. It's possible we're looking at a 6-1, and I stand on that. If you look at the USC game in the 3rd quarter and we start our push, just a few things going our way, we get a few more first downs and we don't have to punt the ball. We're right there in the mix of the conversation of the really good teams in the Pac-12. But let's keep going. It's going to be hard for some of y'all to see it, but I'm telling you, we right there. This team that we're rooting for, the Colorado Buffaloes and Coach Prime, they have the ability for us to be 6-1 right now. If we don't lose that Stanford game, we're 5-2. Forget about Deion Sanders and how you hate him. Just think about it. If just a few things go our way, we could be 6-1. We have to establish the run game. It's imperative that we establish the run game with these last 5 games left. I do not want to see a pass on first down in the UCLA game. Run the ball 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. If it doesn't work, it's fine. If you're going to go 3 and out, go 3 and out running the ball. I'm just saying, you have good running backs. They could be great. People can be talking highly about him. Dylan Edwards is a good running back. So is Alton McCaskill. We have really good running backs. But because we get spooked when things don't work out, we get spooked and then we just like, oh no, let's go back to Shedeur. Shedor's arm is already established. We know that he can pass. What we're trying to do is establish the run so that we can win games. You establish the run, it makes Shedor's passing game so much easier. I've been saying this the entire season. 7 games I've been saying it. Go with a run scheme. Whether it works or not, just go with it. You're going to have to live and die on the run game. Just allow it to just work. Anyway, Oregon State number 2. They're 6-1. The Beavers will travel to Arizona and then on to Colorado the next 2 weeks. 3 straight wins after a close loss to Washington State. Definitely a team that believes they can win the final Pac-12 championship. Why I say the final Pac-12 championship? Because the Pac-12 is going belly up. Pac-12, you guys don't know how to do anything. The Pac-12 is obvious why they're going belly up. Like, really? You got one of the hottest coaches in all of college football in your conference, and you cannot negotiate a basic television deal where we can see the game on TV. We had to watch it on YouTube. That was inexcusable. So y'all going belly up because y'all don't know how to do business. You don't know how to asset manage. You don't know how to manage your talent that you have in-house. And that's why you're going belly up. Let's keep moving. We're going to get Oregon State. These teams are not super teams. These teams are not unbeatable. All of these teams are beatable. Are they really good teams? Yes, these are really good teams, but they're not unbeatable. Colorado has the talent to compete and possibly beat these teams. I'm going to have to put a lot of the weight on this guy right here, Coach Prime. A lot of y'all may not like the sound of this, but Coach Prime is really coming into his own as a coach. And for real, like I tell you, a lot of the things that we've seen have boiled down to final decisions on the coaching staff. It's not just Coach Prime, because Coach Prime's not calling the plays on offense or defense. So I can't put everything on Coach Prime. But you know, like they say, everything rises and falls on leadership. You got to put it on Coach Prime. You got to do better game management. You're up by 29 points to 0. We say, oh, the kids may not love this game. Maybe so. Maybe a lot of them fell asleep. But the coaching staff has to be held accountable for 29 points. They gave you 29 points. So if they give you 29 points and you only have 2 quarters to go, I believe, this is me now. This is me talking. And I know a lot of y'all Coach Prime loyalists may have something to say about that. But that has to land on the coaching staff. If you are a Nick Saban or you are a Riley, Dan Lanning, there's no way your kids give you 29 points and you cannot coach your way out of 2 quarters to at least win by 3 points. There's no way. I'm going to put this one squarely on the heads of the coaching staff. I already made a couple of videos saying how the kids fell asleep. They started celebrating way too early and all of those things. But at the end of the day, if those young men give you 29 points, I hold my position to say, I give you 29 points, bro. Where were y'all at? I'm going to ask the coaching staff, hey, the young man give you 29 points to 0. You had 2 quarters to coach your way out of that. Y'all couldn't do that. So that's on y'all. As much as I love y'all, it's on y'all. Number 3 is Utah. Utah is 6-1. Impressive win at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Kyle Whittingham with another masterful coaching performance. Injuries have decimated this team and they still keep on winning. I'm shocked. Okay, so right there, masterful coaching performance. Coaching does matter. In certain aspects of the game, coaching matters. If you lose key players, like we lost Travis Hunter, we lost some key players. I don't believe that Trevor Woods was 100% and other players were nursing injuries. The coaching staff, especially when you have opportunities to put games away, the coaching staff have to dig deep to not lose games. It's on the coaching staff. You have to dig real deep. Now, can we beat Utah? Utah is impressive, but I believe we can beat Utah. They're number 3. We can beat them. We have the talent to do it. But I believe the coaching staff is going to have to step up so that we can win some of these games. We already know that we have talent on our team. It's not always going to be square on these kids. We know that the O-line is weak. We know that the D-line is weak. We already know that. If you look at these games, these kids get some stops. These kids do get some stops. It's not like these teams are scoring 1,000 points on us. They're getting some stops. And when you have a weak D-line and a weak O-line, the only thing you need them to do is just get something going. And they do it. Yes, we're going to talk about next year and what we got coming up and all of that, okay? But they can only do but so much. They're giving you what they can give you. If the defense does get a stop, you have to come on there as a coaching staff and draw up some good plays to take advantage of their hard work. They're not the greatest D-line or the greatest O-line. But if they do a good job on one of these downs and protect Shedeur, then you need to make sure that that play that you draw up is good enough. All of these things have to be taken into consideration. We have to manage the talent that we have. Forget about next year. Manage what you currently have. That's most important. And that's on the coaching staff. Number 4 is Oregon. They're 6-1. Obviously, good bounce back win over Washington State. Bo Nix is now up to 19 touchdowns with just 1 interception on the year. Next up is a trip to Utah. And guess who gave them that 1 interception? That was us. Bo Nix was perfect until they met us. They beat us hands down. I mean, they clobbered us. But we gave them that 1 interception. I believe that may have been a Silman Craig interception. I think so. I remember that Caleb Williams and Bo Nix, they came into our games with almost perfect records, no interceptions or a sack. A lot of these teams in the Pac-12 are going to be 2 lost teams because we got to play each other. Everybody got to play each other. So, I mean, going forward, if the Pac-12 survives this collapse, maybe they try to shake things up and not implode your own conference. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe don't do that. I'm not a conference scheduler, but maybe you preserve your own conference by shaking things up a little bit, scheduling more games outside of the conference. I don't know. I mean, it makes sense to me. It's going to boil down to them losing 2 games. It's kind of weird. Number 5, USC, 6-2. 2 straight losses, and the Trojans have gone from championship contenders to barely ranked in the top 25. USC travels to Cal this Saturday. They should handle Cal without any problem at all. All right, so they're going to win that game unless Cal shows up and try to play spoiler, but they should handle Cal easily. If these teams were super teams and they were unbeatable, under no circumstance should we be in there with the number 5 team and almost get a win from them. We should not. It's plausible that if we play good football, if we play like the fourth quarter coming out in the first, second, third, and the fourth quarter, if we play all 4 quarters, we should be able to hang with a lot of these teams. The talent is there. We have one of the elite quarterbacks in college football. We got great wide receivers. We got great runners. It boils down to us just making good play calls on defense and on offense. They're not going to stop them all the time. No, the defense is not always going to stop anyone. Just shut them down, but they get key stops. That's all you need, key stops. If your offense can put up points like you've been doing the entire season, if you can do that, when the defense gives you the ball back, take advantage of it. I need some trick plays. What happened to all the trick plays? We get spooked. We just get spooked. Number 6 is UCLA. They are 5-2. This writer right here said Bruins rolled over the Cardinals 42-7. First of all, it's a singular Cardinal, so it should not be the Cardinals. I'm not trying to geek out. I'm just saying that's how it should be. Carson Steele had 3 rushing touchdowns in the win. Unlike Colorado a week earlier, they took a big lead and never let up against Stanford. Yeah, I mean, we should have never let up. Can you think that UCLA maybe took a page out of our book? Maybe UCLA saw what we did and they used that as a guide and they went in there and they did what they had to do. If you think about Stanford's defensive line, in the first half, they unraveled. You can run the ball on them. Their defensive line could not hold up. It's like they had 3 people or 4 people on the line and they didn't care about rushing in the first half. So you can run the ball on them. The throw is always something that you can do because all you got to do is drop back and then somebody gets open, you pass the ball. Running is a little different. So UCLA said, we're going to run the ball on y'all. We know we got good running backs, so we're going to run the ball on y'all and y'all can't stop us. If you take the air out of the room, the 42-7, it should have been the Colorado score. It should have been 42-7 Colorado, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, UCLA is 5-2 and we about to play them. We can make them 5-3. UCLA is not unbeatable. We can beat them if we put it all together. Number 7 is going to be Arizona. Arizona is 4-3, just like us. The Wildcats now have a legit shot at a bowl game. With 3 home games, along with road contests at Arizona State and Colorado, 6 wins seems very attainable. Arizona where Lamonius Craig is at, and we should be meeting them real soon. If there's one team that we can beat to win at least 5 games, Arizona was definitely one of those teams. It looks like they're playing very strong football right now because they did upset one of these teams. So Arizona is doing pretty well right now, but they would be just like us. Arizona is just like us. They have the talent. So if both of these teams play very well, then it's going to go down to the wire. The team that makes the least amount of mistakes should win that game. That's what it's going to boil down to. The team that makes the least amount of mistakes and is coached very well. As we look at Coach Prime right there. If Coach Prime can dig into his coaching bag and bring out the good stuff, not that bad stuff, bring out the good stuff, then we can win a couple of these games. It's going to boil down to discipline, discipline, discipline. disciplined football. The defensive coordinator cannot get 4 penalties illegally subbing people in and out of the game. That is utterly ridiculous. Swapping players in and out. Come on now. Arizona is a winnable game. Number 8 is going to be Washington State. They're 4-3. Same record as us. Washington State was ranked for a very long time until they started playing some really good teams. If they're 4-3, are they a super team? Are they unbeatable? They are stronger than us. Hands down. Their defensive line and their offensive line is definitely much stronger than us, but they're 4-3. They got beat. They're not unbeatable. They got ran out the building by Arizona. It felt like the same way that Oregon beat us. They had no answer for the lowly Arizona. We got to meet Arizona, but Arizona gave Washington State that spanking. I don't know what was going on with Washington State that day. I have no idea, but Arizona handled business and beat them like they were somebody's stepchild. What is it going to boil down to? It's going to boil down to the nitty gritty. Don't get silly penalties. Do not get in your feelings, Travis Hunter. Young men, do not get in your feelings. We're supposed to be disciplined because that's the thing that we preach. Number 8, Washington State, 4-3. What happened to this team? The Cougars need to get it together. Fortunately for them, they next face the bottom 4 teams in the league before their rivalry matchup with Washington. They're going to be playing the bottom teams, but something tells me, something says those bottom teams, when they get desperate, like a hurt dog, you know, our dogs have been hurt. Our feelings have been hurt. So you catch one of these hurt dogs, for some reason, a hurt dog fight crazy. Coach Prime needs to find it in himself to fight dirty. When I say fight dirty, I don't mean dirty plays. I mean, you got to come out there and got to be chippy. You got to play the game. Go Travis Hunter, my guy. That highlight is crazy, man. Anyways, you got to come out here. You got to fight chippy. You need some edge about you. I know you're a good guy, but come on now. Good guys don't always win. The good guy doesn't always get the girl in the movies, okay? And this is a movie. This is definitely a movie. So Coach Prime is going to have to find it in his bag to come out and play chippy. Find some edge somewhere. You got to fight. These teams have been fighting you, and you're going to have to come out and find that somewhere. For real. If we're going to beat Washington State, you're going to have to come out with it. There ain't going to be no nice guys here. Nice guys don't win all the time, all right? And then we come to number 9, Colorado, 4-3. Just like Washington State, just like Arizona. Coach Prime told his squad this week that they need to steal a game back. They know they lost one in Stanford that they were supposed to win. Colorado has a shot at redemption when they enter a sold-out Rose Bowl on Saturday. UCLA. We can steal it. We can beat UCLA. We got to do a lot of the good things that we've been doing this season. We got to come out. We got to be poised. Got to make good play calls, and we got to run the ball. If we do not establish the run, we just depend on the pass. They're going to adjust. I'm going to say this again. The lack of adjustments is how we lost the Stanford game. Even when you're down, you can't get spooked and then start reverting to like, let me just throw the ball. When you throw the ball, they're going to make that adjustment and they're going to figure out what you're doing. And all they got to do is just make a few adjustments on defense, throw somebody in the slot, throw a few guys back, take that long bomb away from Shedeur, and then it's over. And then Shedeur starts making silly mistakes. We saw it. If you take away his passing routes, Shedeur would make those mistakes, those costly mistakes. You go for it on 4th down, he's not going to throw it up because he's trying to be Mr. Perfection. He's going to hold on to the ball too long and he's not going to throw it. Shedeur's not a perfect player. He makes mistakes like everybody else. He's really good. He's one of the best in college football, but he will make some of those costly mistakes. We see that now. It's going to take some trick plays. It's going to take some relaxing, having some more fun with the playbook for us to win some of these games. Stop being so tight. I'm glad that a lot of the young men are going to be healthy. We can press the reset button and go back to the hunger that we had and the grit that we had in the TCU game. We had that whole everybody against us mentality. We lost that edge that we started the season off with, and hopefully the bye week gave us that edge back. And if it did, I'm telling you, we're definitely going to go bowling, but we can definitely go 8-4. Is it going to happen? I don't know, but we'll see. Okay, family, that is all the information that I have for this video. I hope you got a little something out of it, and if you did, please make sure to smash that subscribe button to help this channel grow. That's all I do here. I'm going to have to leave it right there. You know who I am. I'm Harry B, and that right there was the Liberian Perspective. That's TLP Sports Club.